Welcome back. This fortnight I'll be simplifying the Seawings, Sandwings, and Skywings. In case you missed my last episode of WHATSIFACE, I'm working on creating some simplified designs for the Wings of Fire tribes. Last time I did Mudwings and talked about the graphic novels that have been coming out. Let's get started. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Seawings are basically my Wings of Fire initiation tribe. Back when I first found the series as a kid, I began teaching myself to draw by looking at the Seawing illustrations. About 80% of all my art was Seawings. It was almost a year before I began branching out into other tribes and, other art in general. About a year ago, I got back to drawing Wings of Fire fan art regularly, and drawing Seawings again honestly felt like coming home. It gave me the craziest sense of deja vu. I could draw a Seawing from memory long before any of the other tribes, which is why simplifying their design was so easy. I mean, if you draw anything 100 times, you'll learn the easiest way to draw it without losing its identity. Repetition is the mother of learning. Let's begin with the Seawing shapes. Seawings are lower than most of the other tribes. Not quite as low and thick as Mudwings, but pretty close. And I don't really draw them like this. Now, in character design, obviously, you can give your character any kind of physique, but for a generic Seawing, I wanted something else. So this Seawing is built almost like a dog. Longer legs and neck, and it stands taller. I feel like as swimmers, Seawings should be built like a rocket. A whole lot of muscle in a sleek package. The perfect build for catching currents and swimming without expending all of their energy. As far as other features go, I made the horns curve up a tiny bit more. Maybe you don't notice it. The webbing on the underbelly is gone, and the webbing along the spine trails off near the edge of the wings. I mean, who has not experienced the pain of adding webbing down a tail? I didn't draw the talons, but they are for sure still webbed. This is one of the Seawings' defining features, I feel. Though, to be honest, they have a lot of features the other tribes lack. The underbelly is unchanged as well, except for the loss of those glowing squares. I'll explain my glowing scale theory in a little bit. I also kept most of their facial features. As for the neck scales, I just drew the gills. I thinned out the rest of the glowing scales as well. Overall, I kept the majority of the features just in smaller quantities. Now, I know you guys might be wondering how the Seawings communicate through the underwater language without all the same scales as the canonical Seawings. I have a few reasons behind my choices. First, if we wanted each Seawing to be able to communicate with their scales, we would spend hours on each drawing, perfecting each scale to match every Seawing we ever drew. Not only would it be horrifically difficult, but it would also be a very bad way to design our characters. Second, I know this isn't supported by the books, but I feel like some artistic license here is okay. Instead of Seawings using certain scales for certain words, which Riptide seems to be teaching Tsunami, I think they do something more like Morse code. They wouldn't have enough scales for a whole language anyways. Plus, what about the soldiers who lost limbs? Wouldn't they be incapable of speech? I think the Seawings would design their language better than that. This personal headcanon of mine means that I can draw Seawing scales however I want. Lastly, I want to note some of the ways you could change this design for each individual character. You can always change body shapes and head shapes. Using sea creatures for reference might be something good to practice as well. You can use horn shape and size, the size and length of the webbing, and the shapes and the placement of the glowing scales. These are all ways you can make a character recognizable, even without color, hopefully. Next up, Sandwings. Sandwings are one of the more interesting tribes to me. They have a remarkable culture, and some of my favorite characters are Sandwings, like Thorn and Keebly. Luckily for us, the Sandwings have one very defining feature, that frill. No other tribe has anything like it, so that means I can strip away a whole lot more scales for a simpler design. Thus, I took out all of the neck and tail scales. I know some people like those, and you can feel free to add in one row of them or all of them, but honestly, I hate adding them. I can recognize the Sandwing without them, which is enough for me unless I'm doing a polished piece like a poster. Sandwings also have a fairly easy to recognize head. Aside from the frill, they have a sort of bony crest or cheekbone under the ear, along with smaller horns that are straight but curve up a little. I kept much of this the same. I gave this tribe another lean, fit body type. I want Sandwings to be like other desert animals, ready to survive the harsh conditions of their habitat. There's a reason desert animals are built like that, so we should try to draw from those features even if what we draw is mythical. I got rid of most of the leg scales, as you can see, though I kept a few of them for a bit of flavor. Also, of course, the tail barb. I love drawing those, and it's an awesome part of Sandwings. I am so happy that Tui made all of her dragon tribes so diverse. It's excellent, and it makes designing characters really fun. I also had canon that female Sandwings have longer frills than boys, kind of like long hair. I would like to think that frills could be a great way to personalize characters as well. Aside from the frill, the horns, body shape, and scales are all great ways to make your character unique. Last and, maybe least, Skywings. As you may have guessed, Skywings are a little bit lower on my list of tribes I love to draw. This is kind of funny since they're almost exactly like Rainwings, whom I love to draw. Maybe since they're the grumpy tribe. Right, for the Skywings, since they fly so much, obviously they need to be built for it. Kind of like how I built Seawings around their swimming. I always picture Skywings to be one of the most arching and elegant tribes, sleek and aerodynamic for the best flying. I was careful to make the muscles along their wings pronounced. Obviously they would need extra muscles there for their larger wings. I got rid of the crest of scales by the eye and, of course, all those tiny chainmail type scales. I kept the back scales, though, since they're one of the only features that help distinguish the Skywings from Rainwings. They trail off near the back legs. Also, I changed up the leg scales a tiny bit. Honestly, this design didn't shift much for me. It's pretty simple. To cap this episode, I want to compare the silhouettes of the tribes to make sure they are all easy to recognize. See? Even without the lines, or even colors, you can still tell pretty well which tribe is which. That's the goal of this exercise. Even without all the details, we can still identify each tribe. 'Cause, let's be real guys, dragons aren't easy to draw. It's harder to make each character unique. With humans, for example, there are a variety of ways to personalize characters, each with plenty of reference pictures most of the time. Dragons are tough, but they're also really rewarding to bring to life. I hope you guys agree with me that the work is worth the reward when drawing dragons. Keep practicing even if you aren't confident in what you're creating. Once again, I'm pretty happy with how my tribe designs turned out. Feel free to replicate my process or use the designs. However, please don't steal my art. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to check out the links in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a fabulous week.